You stand at the crossroads, the wind howling around you. To the north, you see the faint glow of torches in the distance. That must be the orc stronghold you've been searching for. To the south, you see a dense forest, the trees twisting and gnarled as if they are alive. Rumours say that a powerful druid lives deep within those woods, and she may be able to help you in your quest. What do you do? The DM delivers his beautifully crafted introduction, knowing that both options are fully prepared and ready to deliver a great role-playing session. The players look at each other. One scratches his head. Another looks up from a set of dice neatly stacked into an improbable tower. The third, mercifully, nods his head and announces confidently, "We head east. I have a feeling that's the way we need to go." Greetings and welcome. I'm Dave, the AI Wizard, and today we're going to see how ChatGPT can help you take your DMing to another level. ChatGPT is this incredible large language model AI available online at chat.openai.com, which we can use while prepping our D&D game, as I've shown in some of my other videos. But perhaps even more exciting is the potential for it to act as an assistant during the sessions themselves. For that, we do need to prep it a little the first time so it knows what we want. Just create a new chat, and initially we're running a D&D game set in a fantasy setting. That's enough. Of course, you could provide more details, which would give it more to work with when generating its responses, and rather wonderfully, for future games, you can just reload the chat session and pick up from where you left off, giving the AI the ability to remember and reference stuff that you yourself may even have forgotten. I know, as incredible as it sounds, we DMs do occasionally forget things. So, grab your dice, your DM screen, and your trusty notebook, and join me as I share with you 3 reasons why you should use ChatGPT while you're DMing your Dungeons & Dragons game. Reason 1. Generating detailed NPCs on the fly. You know the drill. The players suddenly decide they want to go shopping for the most obscure items or meet with an NPC who wasn't part of the original plan, and you're left frantically trying to come up with a new character on the spot, all too aware of the mocking you'll get if the players once again encounter Marcus the shopkeeper. You curse your lack of NPC templates prepared in advance for every possible contingency. Enter ChatGPT. Think of ChatGPT as like a little Discworld imp trapped inside a magic box, bound to use its advanced language processing skills and encyclopedic knowledge of all things D&D to quickly generate rich and detailed NPC descriptions, backgrounds, and motivations when the need arises. Just provide a few prompts, such as the NPC's profession, personality, or role in the story, and ChatGPT will do the rest, conjuring up a fully fleshed out character in mere seconds. We're mid-game. The players have decided to go to the east. The DM pulls up ChatGPT, types in the request, generate an NPC on a lonely road, then turns to his players and says, "You begin walking along the eastern road when a figure emerges over the hill. A tall, slender woman with long curly brown hair and piercing green eyes. She is dressed in worn travelling clothes and carries a small pack on her back." But what if we want a more specific NPC, perhaps one that helps get us out of the problem we're in at the moment? We want to redirect the players back, ideally towards the orc stronghold, which is the object of their quest. So we could just say, another with a reason to hunt orcs. Alara is a tall, athletic woman with short, blonde hair and piercing brown eyes. She is dressed in well-worn leather armor and carries a variety of weapons, including a bow and a sword. Perhaps Alara wishes to attack the orcs and she will accompany the players. Suddenly we need a stat line for Alara. Well, ChatGPT has that covered too. Generate her a stat line. Because we've already specified this as a D&D game, we get a fully fleshed out Dungeons & Dragons character, for Alara. She's pretty strong, she's pretty dexterous, she's got a pretty high constitution, all suitable for a warrior: survival, perception, stealth, athletics, intimidation. Now we can ask for more and more detail, we can flesh this character out as much as we want, and we can generate more, we can generate as many as we want, and that's the beauty of ChatGPT. And we can do all of this without really paying too much attention to it. We can issue the request, we can turn our attention back to our players, and then we can look back at the screen and see what ChatGPT has come up with and just use the bits of it that we want or not. And that is the first reason why you should make use of ChatGPT while DMing your Dungeons & Dragons game. Reason 2. Generating new locations with rich descriptions and persistent details on the fly. Of course, our lovable players rarely restrain their bizarre choices to encountering NPCs, and all too often they decide that the only possible place that could hold what they're after is that completely unmapped bit you totally intended to prep but somehow didn't quite get around to. And while it's always good to have a robust set of random location tables at the ready, sometimes you need something a little more specific, unique, or detailed. And that's where our little ChatGPT imp comes in again. Provide a few prompts such as the location's theme, atmosphere, or function, and ChatGPT will do the rest, conjuring up a fully fleshed out location in mere seconds. It is basically magic. So in our imagined game, in which our group of players have boldly completely ignored the northern path to the orc stronghold and the southern path to the druid forest, both of which we have meticulously prepared, and our attempts to divert them back onto this path with our ChatGPT generated NPC have failed, we of course are not going to railroad our players, we're going to allow them to travel into the east. So we turn once again to ChatGPT and we just say, generate a location found along the eastern road in a remote region. As you continue down the eastern road, you see a grand old house in the distance. It is a large 2-story building with peeling paint and broken windows. The gardens around the house are overgrown, and the gate to the property is hanging off its hinges. Despite its dilapidated appearance, there is something about the mansion that draws you in. As you get closer, you see a faint light coming from one of the windows on the second floor. It looks like someone might be inside. If the players decide to explore the mansion, then the interior is just as easily generated. The dining room of the mansion has been converted into the lair of a group of bandits. The long wooden table has been pushed to the side of the room, and the bandits have set up several cots and blankets. There are weapons and supplies scattered around the room, and a small fire burns in the fireplace. The bandits have hung tapestries and rugs on the walls in an effort to make the room more comfortable. It is currently occupied by several of the bandits, who are lounging around and playing cards. With ChatGPT, no matter how far off the beaten path your players stray, you'll always have the ability to provide them with rich, engaging locations and narratives as they adventure into the unknown. Reason 3. Quickly generating monster stats and even whole encounters on the fly. Naturally, what happens next? The players have gone off the beaten path, stumbled upon an NPC exploring an unexpected location, and of course, because they just can't help themselves, they've somehow managed to start a fight with some monsters. While you can always open the monsters manual and randomly pick a beastie, if you want something a little more interesting, and let's face it, when don't we, ChatGPT has you covered. Using what I can only presume to be its malevolent intellect and apparently a pretty advanced knowledge of all things D&D, ChatGPT can quickly generate detailed monster stats, descriptions, and even entire encounters that will keep your players on their toes. Provide a few prompts, such as the monster's theme, role in the story, or desired challenge rating, and ChatGPT will do the rest, conjuring up a fully fleshed out encounter that's sure to surprise and delight or terrify your players. By the way, ChatGPT wrote quite a lot of this script, including that last line, which might qualify as boasting. So in our imagined game, our players have continued along the eastern road and entered the seemingly abandoned mansion, only to discover it is a lair for a group of bandits who have set up shop in the dining room. Now we have an encounter. Generate the bandit stats. Notice it knows that we're talking specifically about bandits in the dining room of the abandoned mansion. We have a bandit leader with strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom scores, skills, equipment. We have 3 bandit henchmen, so it's actually unprompted here begun to flesh out not just the individual monsters, the individual NPCs, but also the whole encounter, all generated, all fully fleshed out, ready to go, which is awesome. But maybe we want even more details than that. We don't just want humans. Let's add some actual monsters. I'm not sure if you could call war dogs technically monsters, but here we go. The bandits have a couple of war dogs too. Add them to the encounter and describe it for me. As you enter the dining room of the mansion, you see a group of bandits lounging around and playing cards. There are 3 henchmen and a leader, who all stand up and draw their weapons as they see you. In the corners of the room, you can also see 2 large, snarling war dogs straining at their chains. The leader of the bandits steps forward, a scimitar in his hand. "Who are you, and what do you want?" ChatGPT isn't limited to just regurgitating existing stat lines of existing monsters that it knows about. It can riff on a stat line and it can change it in any way you want. Make the dogs more powerful. Warped by dark magic, they should be tougher, stronger, and more dangerous. And we have a revised stat line. Dark War Dogs 2. Ability scores 18 in strength, dexterity 16, constitution +3. They have a bite, +6 to hit, reach 5 foot, 2d6 +4 piercing damage, and a dark aura. Any creature within 10 feet of a dark war dog must make a DC 12 wisdom saving throw or be affected by the frightened condition for 1 minute. This capability is genuinely revolutionary, and I think it's going to radically improve your game if you make use of it. Of course, there are many, many ways in which ChatGPT can help you be a better dungeon master, both before, during, and after the session itself. But I hope this video has given you at least a few ideas to help you take your game to the next level. It's also worth mentioning that ChatGPT is currently free during its research preview, although it is being hammered at the moment, and you may have difficulty accessing it until they're able to scale up their servers. After the research preview, it's not clear what the cost of accessing it will be. Hopefully it'll be relatively cheap and it'll still be worth using because it is such an incredible tool. There are also other tools like character.ai with similar capabilities that we may explore in future videos. This video is a little bit of a departure from what I intend to be the mainstay of content on the channel. Generally, I prefer to do a deeper dive into specific things, specific capabilities of AI and what you can do with them, and not so much these kind of 10 ways to be a better DM kind of videos, which get a lot of views, but it isn't the type of content I want to focus on. Making this video is, in fact, a shameless attempt to woo the great YouTube AI dragon who broods mysteriously over its mighty horde of videos. But as the channel grows, hopefully such things will be less important. Nonetheless, please do the YouTube things, like, subscribe, comment, etc. and let me know what sort of content you'd like to see, and if you have any suggestions or tips for things that could be included in future videos. But until then, thanks a lot for watching everyone, and I'll see you later.